Oh my God, I've just seen Southampton have just scored already against Arsenal. It's 1-0 Southampton against Arsenal. Yeah, I'm looking to go in and watch this. I know it's a little bit late, so I do apologize for the late video. Obviously want to get into last week's results, get into this week's predictions as well. As it stands at the moment, Arsenal at the Emirates are 1-0 down against Southampton. I don't think Southampton are going to hold it, I'm going to be honest, but I hope they do. I really hope they do. 2 minutes gone, Southampton are 1-0 up. I haven't seen the goal scorers yet, but woo, could be peak. Match day 31, round up. We'll go Aston Villa versus Newcastle United. That was live from Villa Park. Cruise control for Aston Villa. Absolute cruise control. Newcastle had no answers for them. Villa Park was up for it. The players were up for it. The fans were up for it. Newcastle just did not know what to do. Unai Emery now, I believe, has taken Villa up to 6th in the league. I think he took over when they were 16th. And he seems to be a bit of a striker whisperer as well, because Ollie Watkins is scoring goals left, right and centre. And it doesn't look to be subsiding anytime soon. As for Eddie Howe and Newcastle, do I call this a bump in the road? I'm not sure. They'll probably show out against us this weekend anyway, so they'll probably get back on track from that. But no, well-deserved win. Newcastle weren't very good. Aston Villa were excellent. From what I saw, Aston Villa just blew the back out of Newcastle. Newcastle literally had no response for it. Yeah, just one of them games really. Newcastle didn't really come to play. Aston Villa did, and that's what happens. Ended up being a 3-0 scoreline. Southampton 0, Crystal Palace 2. That was from St Mary's. Roy Hodgson does it again. That's 3 wins in 3 now. Eberi Eze 2 goals. Didn't watch the game, but from what I saw, Southampton just got outplayed in every single facet at this moment in time. James Ward-Prowse needs to leave. Crystal Palace have found an identity again. They look so dangerous. They didn't have a shot on target under Patrick Vieira in about 5 games. All of a sudden now they've scored about 12 goals in the time Roy Hodgson has been there. It's been a bit mad. But Palace seem to be in a better place now and will be moving up that table sooner rather than later. Top 12 finish for them maybe, who knows. As for Southampton, I think they're doomed. But again, they're winning 1-0 against Arsenal at the moment. It's 1-0 to Southampton after 4 minutes. Yes, you heard that right. That could change, obviously. But right now, we're going to stay with that. We're going to gas it up as much as we can because big up Southampton, innit? Hold that. Everton 1, Fulham 3. That was from Goodison Park. A little bit of a shock, this one, actually, because I know Fulham don't have Mitrovic in the squad. Obviously, he's suspended because he pushed the ref. But outplayed Everton in every single way, which is a bit of a strange one considering Everton physically are a stronger team than Fulham. I thought Everton would have had that unlocked, but Fulham, their style is commendable to say the least, and they're very easy on the eye. They have been all season. Taken a couple of shocking results over the past couple of weeks, but to be expected. I didn't expect Fulham to be finishing this high anyway, so I'm not at all, gonna sort of, talk about Fulham in a bad way because they don't deserve that. But they were excellent against Everton. Everton again were poor at home, very very terrible to watch, and I don't really know, who they're gonna sign or the kind of caliber of player they need at the moment. They're just not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Even getting the fundamentals wrong. It just doesn't seem right there at the moment. Sean Dyche will save them from relegation, but I don't know what they're going to do in the summer because I don't think they've got any money to do anything in the summer. But we shall see. Wolverhampton 2, Brentford 0. Ivan Toney missed his first penalty as well. Wolverhampton, another win at home. A very, very impressive win over a very game Brentford side. And Brentford are very, very tough to beat at the best of times. So for Wolves to get a result here, especially with what they're fighting at the moment, is very, very, very good. Diego Costa on the score sheet again. That's his first goal since he left the Premier League, which is what, some 7-8 years ago now. No, really, really decent from them. But Brentford, I'll put that as a glitch. I think they'll be back next game. I think they play Aston Villa over this weekend, and I do see them getting something out of that as well. On to Stamford Bridge. Again, another game I called. I did say Brighton will win this game, and they did at a canter. Chelsea, boy, I don't know what to say with Chelsea, man. Chelsea is just poor, knocked out the Champions League, not in any competitions, sliding down the league table, 39 points, I believe they're on at the moment. They won't get dragged into a relegation dogfight, I don't think, but what are they doing? What are they doing? With all of that talent, £600 million spent in January to only have won, what, one game in the Premier League since then? It's poor. It's bad reading. Frank Lampard as a manager does not fill you with joy. It does not fill you with a sense of confidence. It doesn't fill you with a sense of accomplishment. You're not going to do nothing under that manager. It's weird. Now they're seeing that they're not looking at Julian Nagelsmann anymore. Tottenham, if you're listening, go and get Julian Nagelsmann, please. He's there. He's available. Go and get him. But they're going to apparently try to poach Mauricio Pochettino, which is what I've seen. That's the new development. And I understand that Pochettino had talks with Chelsea as well to be their new manager. How those talks went, we don't know yet. But that's their plan at this moment in time. We'll go to Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We lost 3-2 to Bournemouth, and I'm just not going to talk about much about that game because there's no need to talk about it. We got turned over at home by a very average Bournemouth side, but by saying that we're a very average Spurs side at the moment, how we're still fifth with a chance of getting the top four, I will never know. But I don't want to talk about it. Everyone can see what happened, and it's toxic at the moment. Fabio Paratici has now left his role as Spurs director of football. Steve Munn has now come in. He's the new director of football, it would seem. Get Julian Nagelsmann. I'm just checking on the scoreline again. It's still 1-0 to Southampton after 9 minutes. Manchester City 3, Leicester 1. That was from the Etihad, to be expected. Erling Haaland on the score sheet again with another 2 goals. Manchester City just pretty much didn't do anything in the second half because they didn't really need to. All the damage was done in the first. Leicester pulled one back through Kelechi and Iheanacho. Not much really to say about it. Routine for Manchester City. These are the kind of games I expect them to win. This is round about the time of year where they just roll over teams now. And again, this is the reason why they are going to be winning the league. West Ham 2, Arsenal 2. This was last week was a start. The week before, sorry, with Liverpool, coming back from 2-0 down. This story was West Ham coming back from 2-0 down, and West Ham had no business coming back down from 2-0 down either. But this shows to show when Arsenal are up against it, they do not know what to do. I think it's getting to them. They are going to start cracking. And this is the reason why they're going to lose the league title. Well, it's not theirs to lose, to be quite honest. It's always been Manchester City's, but it's looking very, very peak for them at the moment. Took a 2-goal lead. Saka missed a penalty. And West Ham just thought to themselves, all right, our turn. And absolutely bullied them in that second half. Absolutely bullied them and should have won the game. Arsenal very lucky that they didn't. But good point for West Ham. Not so good for Arsenal. And now Arsenal going to finish second in a one-horse race. Nottingham Forest 0, Man United 2. Again, another routine game. I did say that this would probably turn out to be a draw because of Nottingham Forest's usual good form. But they got taught a lesson in football. Again, a routine win for Manchester United. They weren't under any bother, under any stress, under any duress. Barely gave Nottingham Forest a sniff. I mean, there were a couple of chances here and there, but none to the point where they were in any significant trouble. So there's no need for us to sort of dissect that game. Really, it just is what it was, and United end up being the winners, 2-0 to go back up to third in the league at the moment. Final game of last weekend, Leeds United won Liverpool 6. That was from Ellen Road. I did call a Liverpool massacre. I wasn't expecting it to be that. I expected it to be a lot of sort of back and forths, and Leeds just completely fell apart and capitulated, as they seem to be doing. I understand now that Leeds United have conceded the most in the Premier League this season, and are not scoring many. This is a problem. And Leeds United are probably going to end up being relegated now because of this. So they'll be filling up one of the 3 spots for me now, along with Southampton for sure. Bournemouth, I still think they're going. I don't care how well they're playing. I don't care that they beat us. I want them gone. And I think those are the 3 that's going to go down. Again, we'll go into match week 32. One of the games that's obviously started already. As I've said before, after 12 minutes, it is Arsenal 0, Southampton 1 currently. We have tomorrow morning, we got Fulham versus Leeds. I will probably go from Craven Cottage, a Fulham win. I'll probably go with a 3-0 win, and we'll go with a Pereira goal in that game as well. Man United versus Chelsea is obviously postponed because of Man United's participation in the FA Cup semi-final, so that's not going ahead. Crystal Palace versus Everton from Selhurst Park. I'm going with a Crystal Palace easy win. We'll go with a 2-0 win there. Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest from Anfield. We'll go with a Liverpool win there. I'm going with a 3-0 on that one. Brentford versus Aston Villa from the G-Tech. 1-1 for me on that one. I'm going to go 1-1 there. I think that's a tough one to call. It's probably the toughest game of the weekend to call, to be quite honest. But a very good game. I think that has the potential to be one of the games of the weekend. Leicester City versus Wolverhampton. From the King Power, we'll go Wolverhampton. Narrow 1-0 win there. Don't be surprised if you see a Leicester City 1-1 draw, though. Postponed, obviously, Brighton, Manchester City. Man City's participation in the FA Cup also against Sheffield United this weekend. And then we've got Sunday. We've got Newcastle versus Spurs from St James's Park. I've actually got us to lose this one. I think it'll be a 2-1 win to Newcastle. And it's just because we're playing so poorly. Going up there is not the best game we could obviously ask for, but considering our form. And then after that, we've got Man United and then Liverpool as well. So it's looking a bit peak the next 3 games for us. And then it rounds off the weekend, Bournemouth versus West Ham from the Vitality Stadium. And I will go with a 1-1 draw there as well. So I know this was a bit of a quick video. Usually I like to be a bit more in depth, but I do want to catch this Southampton versus Arsenal game. It is still currently 1-0 to Southampton at the moment. So I'm going to catch that. I'll give you another video next week. Obviously, we'll do roundups again. But try to enjoy the rest of your evening. Try to enjoy your weekend. I hope your football team does what they do for you. And I hope you're happy with them, except if you're an Arsenal fan. And I'll see you later.